to show what I can do, to dance with the big guns. To dance with the big guns? Is that a thing?
What's going on? Can you guys hear me? Am I deaf? Can you hear me talking right now? Yes? That's good.
Well, Teagues, we are a week late, but we are back for our birthday edition of Don't Disturb the Commentators. Mate, happy birthday. Your birthday's coming up.
No, happy birthday to you, Matty. I'm more excited that it's your birthday than my birthday.
So tonight we're having birthday celebration drinks.
Yeah.
Let's bring look. Plug for the sponsors, Ice Spark Electrical and Fire. You've got Richard what? Is that Richard Wang?
Richard Wang. Yeah.
Big shout out to our sponsor, of course, 2212 Productions. We've got the hats. Well, I got mine, mate. You haven't got yours. Pecky's Performance and Dyno Tune, of course, Ice Spark Electrical and Fire and Extra Industries. It's great to be back. We didn't take it lightly to cancel last week's show. Unfortunately, we do have real jobs. People don't believe us. We had to attend to those.
Yeah, not allowed to just keep doing this thing, but it's good to be back. And it's the extra week gave us a bit of an opportunity to see some motorsports around the territory, and it's been pretty good.
Yeah, things are starting to fire up everywhere. So we got a bit of a show tonight. We got Rebecca Griffin coming on from the Burnout Association of Darwin. Like we said, they had a good show on the weekend. Guys from Alice Springs come up for that one, so we'll have a chat with her about that. And we've got Jake ScoMo Burgess coming on to talk about the NTE series tonight. So we'll just have a bit of a chat about that. But I noticed you had some speedway stuff going down in Katherine as well. So you've had some wingless down there and some junior stuff going on as well, some training or something going on.
Yeah. So they down in Katherine, they hosted their first practice round. So just got everyone back out on the track. So a few of the Darwin wingless guys travelled on down, and I think a couple of the Formula 500s might have made the journey as well. And they got out on the track and just had a practice night. So their opening round for the 2020 season starts next Saturday night. So on the 11th, there'll be Katherine Speedway. Unfortunately, Northline not firing back up this year, but Katherine will still give us a bit of our fix. And I know there's plenty of street stocks heading down for that one. The wingless guys will be competing. They're going to do a bit of a mini-series on the Katherine track and see if they can get down to Alice Springs as well. But, going to be pretty cool if you're not got much on next weekend. Make the journey down, 300 Ks down the road, be able to check out some speedway action, get your fix. And, as you said as well, the junior sedans, they're doing a lot. So the Darwin Junior Sedan Club, hopefully we'll be able to get one of the guys on from the Junior Sedan Club because they're doing some pretty cool things. They're doing a whole lot of programming and got a bit of support from the government to be able to do the junior development program. So if you are looking at trying to get your kids into motorsports at all, definitely go over to the Darwin Junior Sedans page and check that out because they're doing this development series where you can go on down. They've actually bought, I think, about 3 or 4 cars now. And you actually get to go down and get involved, learn how to work on the car. The parents get to get involved, and they're getting some suits and stuff like that so that you can get on down there. There's not too much outlay. And, they take them right through a training event. They show them through all the different flags, teach them the rule book and different things and, exactly what to do to get out on the track. And, they've just done a couple of little paddock days to sort of get them out and then before they get them onto the track to sort of race each other. But, very cool to see what the guys at the Darwin Junior Sedan Club are doing. And it's important, the future is in the junior races and it's great to see because we only end up with about 3 or 4 juniors throughout the 2019 season. So it's good to see that we're actually starting to get a few more junior sedans back up and get more people involved in the speedway at such a young age.
Yeah, you keep sending me a look to my side here because I'm actually looking at the Northline Speedway Facebook page because I was reading it a bit before. So you're right. They had a really big crew of juniors there a couple of seasons ago, probably back when we were doing it in 2018. And last year, I noticed a lot of them sort of graduated, didn't they? They went past the next age group. So they're sort of in a rebuilding phase, and it's really good to see that that sort of crew are getting together. If you look up Darwin Junior Sedans, if you want to get involved, or Northline Speedway, you'll find all the links. So it's a good one to get on if you've got kids. How old are they? 16 till they get their license? They're in there. I think it is. So they can start off at about 7 or 8, I believe. I always get that wrong, but I believe it's about 8, and then they can go through till they have to start their season before they turn 17. So, it's a good initiative and, it's good of the Speedway to be down there and the junior sedans to get into it. It's good to see the Speedway sort of kicking off in the Northern Territory. Great to see we've got some comments, Aaron Atkinson getting in there. Yeah, stop looking at yourself. Yeah, well, you got to do these things. To be a commentator, you've got to do a bit of self-promotion, mate. You know how it goes. Can't help it. Write in the comments, guys, if you want to have a chat with us.
Fellas.
Yeah, well, couple of good-looking roosters, mate, and on their birthday weeks, So what can we say? Just getting better with age. So Patrick Barley, I think he can probably still fit into a junior. He looks like he's about 10 years old.
I would nearly guarantee he still owns a junior and still paddock bashes it. That's probably where he does his junior his drift practice. He probably just rolls with the Corolla around the paddock at home.
No, I reckon Paddy'd have a sprint car engine in that by now. That's what would be happening.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Anyway, we said we're going to have Rebecca Griffin on the show. So what do you reckon we get on and talk some burnouts? I reckon. Let's get her on. Let's do it. That works there. She's even got the party hat on.
Yeah, ready to celebrate.
Ready? All right. So we're having a birthday celebration. Look, you know,
our first virtual cheers.
That's COVID cheersing. We do it over online now. So first event on Saturday, you had how was the crowd out there really to come back for the Burnout Association of Darwin, 27th of June? You had your big one.
Yeah. So it became really big really quickly, and we had just over 430 spectators pack out the hill at Hidden Valley, which is, it might not sound like a lot to people who are used to running massive events, but for us, that was just enormous. And, we've never had anything like that before. We invested in putting up a big shade across the hill, and definitely well worth it. I think a lot of the families and groups definitely enjoyed that, and made the day really great, made everybody, out of the sun, being able to sit there, watch some burnouts in the shade and really enjoy themselves.
And it was good to see the guys come up. You had 3 cars from Alice Springs, didn't you? You had Dave Tatani. I know that name because I did see him at Red Centre Nats last year, and mate, he puts on a bit of a show. Josh Wallace and was it Chris Prasad? Is that it? The 3 of them?
Yeah. We call him Habib.
Habib?
Yeah.
Did he bring Euros? That's what we need to know. Did he bring Euros?
Yeah, no, those 3 guys, absolutely massive effort to make the 3,000 kilometre round trip to come up for our comp. They brought a whole support crew with them as well. So it wasn't just them, there was a whole crew of them. All 3 of them really just, put everything out there when they went out on the pad, especially Dave Tatani. Like he drove that car. What did one of the judges say today or yesterday? He drove that car like he absolutely hated it. So yeah, they put on a show. They loved it. They really enjoyed themselves. And we've all made some lifelong friends, and we want to be able to mutually support their events in the future as well.
Yeah, so they've got something coming up later in the year, and I reckon we might get Josh Graveling, who does the commentary, down there on him for this one. But yeah, they've got something. Is it after Red Centre Nats or is it before then?
It's after Red Centre Nats. So they're apologise, I can't remember the exact name of it.
No, that's all right.
Something to do with a mullet. That comp is in November. So that's their big comp of the year, and we're already working hard behind the scenes to try and get as many of our guys down there as we possibly can to show some reciprocal support and, really build up the sport in the Northern Territory and grow the scene, build a community, and just go out and have fun together.
And you guys had 3 Red Centre Nats tickets to give away, and I believe they were for the highest points. So you had the 3 categories. Obviously, you had the blown class, the open class, and the 6-cylinder class. But it was overall points, wasn't it, where those Red Centre Nats tickets went? Yeah,
generally the Masters tickets are, if you've got 3, 2 go to blown, 1 goes to the next highest point scorer, whether it be a 6 or an NAV8. With us, we did only have 2 blown cars enter on Saturday, but we had 19 entrants in total. So we had 5 V6 and the rest was made up of NAV8. So there was a massive open field. So we all agreed that we would just all go in together, and it was just whoever came out top 3 points would take the tickets home.
I've actually got that up here now. So it was actually Frankie Paisley and Rob One Out that actually took that out. Now he's gone NA again.
Yeah, that's it. Best thing he did, get rid of that blower.
Yep. Well, that's what he says too. I spoke to him the other day, and he just so much maintenance on it. So it's good to go back NA. And I mean, that car's so tiny, the power to weight doesn't really matter. Cam Carter, he's really stepped up, obviously, in Benny's VK, and he's got the centre plates on it. So good to see him come in second. That's I know he can drive, so it's good to see him step up a little bit. And also, obviously, got Jake McGilvray come in third there in the Hilux. So that seems to be on song at the moment. That thing's just doing back-to-back burnouts.
Yeah, he ripped 3 really great burnouts on Saturday. One of them was next level, and he finished in third overall. So Those three guys, we had 2 opens and then the blown car, which goes to show that, you know, it's up for grabs for anybody who can get out there and just throw down their best skid on the day. 3 carby cars as well, which was nice to see, the good old carby.
Nothing goes wrong with a carby. You know, depends what you know, I suppose. You know, like carbies are good. Plenty of plenty of parts getting around up there for carbies.
Nothing goes wrong until it all goes wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. Mate, with the now you had 5 Mangers or V6s. Yeah. Sorry, we got to go. It's got to be the Mangers. You know, mang it till you bang it.
Yeah. So,
were they all Buick V6s? Were they Darren's?
No, not all of them were. We did have one AU.
So they had a bit of forward power. That's good.
Yes,
good to see. Those things just go. They just get hot and they cool down. They go again.
We had an Emotech.
What's an Emotech? An Ecotech?
Yes, an Ecotech.
That's a Buick, isn't it? Same.
Learning new things.
And I think the other 3 were Buicks. Yeah. So finishing on top of top of the day.
It's alive. You got to love your kids.
The studio audience has made its way onto the screen.
He didn't even put his hat on for the event. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, so the Buicks did reign supreme. They came out 1-2.
And Jack Waddell was out there, Willie's brother.
Yep. Yep.
What about the Logan Bogan? If you're a Queenslander, you know what that means.
Yeah, Jack Attack. It was his debut event. And Will should probably watch out because he's got some steering abilities and he managed to finish on top on Saturday, which was really great. And then we had Dan the Man in just his second meet. In his first meet, he came runner-up as well. So he's doing really well to get out there and you know, both events that he's entered, he's finished runner-up at both of those.
And he's normally got the food. He's normally doing the food behind the scenes.
Him and his family are our they at all of our fundraising barbecues. They run our canteen, cook all of the food, serve all of the food. So it was really great for them to be able to take a bit of a break from that and for Dan to enter. And for him to be able to take home the runner-up, he was just absolutely stoked. So they put on a really good show. Everybody loves a Mang. Everybody loves a VN.
Isn't it funny when you go Mango, like everyone, you know, like you sit in the crowd. I know it's like listening to the LS smash the limiter for hours. After a while, especially if you've been to an event like Gaznats WA where it's just LS after LS after LS, you know, in the crowd, I can understand why people get a bit funny about it. But when you're behind the wheel, it's just fun.
Yes, yeah, that's right. You know, and I mean that's the thing. We really don't care what people drive, as long as you're going to come down, play by the rules, have some fun with us. You can bring whatever you want. We don't mind. No,
it's all about having a bit of fun down there. See, you know, my protege just getting ready in the background. I just see. Oh no, that's a car that doesn't see daylight in the background. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. We know how to skid anymore or what?
No, I don't think I do actually. You know, I'll check my jocks later. That's probably about the best I can do.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to see you up in the NT later on this year for a couple of events, mate.
Yeah, well, let's hope Gaznats. I mean, I got a few highlights from the weekend which I'm going to play. So Patrick Barley, of course, On the Fence Media put up a couple of videos. So we'll get those playing while we're having a bit of a chat here. And you can see Jake McGilvray come in third there in the highlights. Big tip in this one too. But yeah, no, it's good to see you guys are back up and running. I know there's some new rules and social distancing. I think you had a limit of 500, so you nearly filled that out.
Yeah, we were really close. So when we took into account our entrants and their crew and also our volunteers, we really pushed that limit, which is fantastic. Obviously, we didn't have 430 people on that hill at one single time. You know, people were coming and going and whatnot. But we are really proud to have put on probably, I guess, the first large crowd event at Hidden Valley post-COVID.
Yeah, no, and like we can see there, the crowd in the background, the shade. That's a fantastic idea having the show. We know it's very expensive to do it. Did you get some sponsors on board for that, or is that all off the back of the club?
Yeah, well, we do. We've got our fixed sponsors, I suppose you would say, and you know they all contribute either financially or through donating goods and services that help us save money where we don't have to spend it. So, the shade was $1,000, which is a lot of money for a club who relies solely on sponsorship and fundraising. So we've got, can I go through our sponsors? Is that okay?
Yeah, mate, go through them. Yeah, go for it.
Sure. All right. So our Our major sponsors are Choices Flooring Darwin. Anthony came on board with us this year. This is his first year with us. He came down for a couple of events late last year and really liked what the club was doing. So he's one of our major sponsors. J&T Auto Electrics and Air Conditioning have been with us since day dot. So they are a long-term sponsor with us, and they are, a significant financial contribution each year. Flick Pest Control, they spray for midges and mozzies pre-event, which is always really good to try to keep our spectators comfortable. LPD Graphics does all of our graphic design, made our logo, makes our shirts, stickers, everything like that. Humpty Doo Bakery donate all of the bread to feed our volunteers. High Power NT, give us a bobcat. Most events, as long as someone who's hired it didn't wreck it the day before. MDD Mechanical and Performance, that's Maxwell David. Probably know he's got a blown ute burnout car, so hopefully he can hit the pad some stage this year with us. Burson Winelli donate either vouchers or prizes for each event that we have. Shannon's have been really great to us since day dot as well. And we do have a brand new sponsor that's come on board, and this is actually really funny. So we are sponsored by the Australian Croquet Company. So this guy manufactures croquet balls out of a shed in Humpty Doo, one of 3 certified croquet ball manufacturers in the world. And his company slogan is, "Whose balls are you playing with?"
Well, the saying, if you don't like burnouts, we'll write you a prescription for some testicles. You got
they've come on board as one of our bronze sponsors this year as well. So, we really are supported by a huge range of businesses, not just those involved in an automotive type industry. And they really are, they're what make our club work. And we try to give as much back as we can through social media, etc. We are just about to get Frankie, who drives Rub One Out. He also owns Roll Press NT, and he's about to build us a back for our little truck that we purchased, so we can store all of our stuff in there, and all of our sponsors will be proudly displayed on the sides of the truck.
I tell you what, you're going to the right place. I just put B Stotty up there as well. Of course, Brad Stott took that video.
Yeah,
I had the cable cam set up on the weekend too. So
yeah, I was just about to get to the 3 media guys that stood out there in the ridiculous heat, because it was a really hot day on Saturday. Brad Stott did not only do a lot of video footage, he also commentated for us on Saturday using your equipment, Matty Cavs. Thank you very much. Got us out of a fairly large pickle. And, without his help on Saturday, we would have been stuffed. Patrick Barley on the fence media, again, pad side, getting some heat damage to his equipment even, but persevering, getting things done. And he's put up a lot of really cool footage. Personally, I'm a really big fan of Patrick's editing style, so I love it when he comes down and films and stuff and puts highlight reels together for us. And then we had Aaron Black from Little Big City Media. He takes some amazing photographs. He is becoming a very well-known action sports photographer. In Darwin, he does a lot of the local sports clubs, rugby, AFL, cricket, etc. And also has been getting into a lot of night sky photography too. So it'll be really cool once we see all these guys' images and footage get uploaded on Facebook. Like all of us, they also have other real jobs, so they're getting to it.
Yeah, it takes a bit of time to put all that together. I can tell you behind the scenes, I was pretty happy to have the extra week up my sleeve to put the show together, and we're going to try and back it up and do it again next week. So, just a week to turn around. But most importantly, who took home the Rodney Award? Was there a Rodney Award this weekend?
We didn't have a Rodney Award, and we only had one Rodney situation.
And who was that, Beck? Yeah. Was it you driving?
No, it wasn't me.
It was the Limiter King, was it himself?
Yep. Yes, it was. It was Jesse. So he's in the shed at the moment building somebody else in LS.
He's all right. He'll get a second-hand rod and throw it back in, won't he? Just weld the block up.
No, we'll be back. We'll be back next event. No problems at all. I'll have something built and ready to go.
Have you got another event planned already? Like, you got a date on that one?
Yeah, we do. We do have one. It is late September. We're just waiting to obviously know what's going on with COVID-19 and how things are going to look for the future. The Northern Territory's just recorded its first case in 86 days or something like that today. So, things might change.
But it was someone who went through Melbourne, mate. So,
Yeah, I know. But,
Stop letting them in.
Yeah. So end of September. We like to try not to put things too close to post Red Centre Nats. Let everybody have a bit of a breather. If anybody's got broken stuff, to fix it, and everyone just have a bit of a rest, because we do have some pretty significant motorsports events in August and then Red Centre Nat. So yeah, we just try not to load people up too much. So we've got September, then we've got October, third week of October. Then we're not going to run a November event. We're going to do whatever we can to get as many people down to Alice Springs for their event. And then we have our big party event. We do have a date in December. Obviously, December is always pretty risky, but...
but you'll be wearing that hat again.
Yeah, of course.
Because it'll be December, it'll be Christmas.
Yeah.
We'll send Tegan down there.
We've got a few more. We've got a few more up our sleeve.
I'd send Tegan dressed down as Santa Claus, but he just went and lost 10 kilos. Don't know what he did that for.
I'll have to put it back on by December just so I can do the Santa Claus role.
Yeah.
I'm generally Santa Claus at work too, so that's I think I'll be relied upon.
Could be a big year for you, mate. You're gonna have to put all that weight back on. I don't know why you lost it in the first place. No, it's good to see though. It's all happening. I mean, we're hoping, we're holding our breath for Gaz and Nats, because I know a lot of Melbourne cars come up. WA is still, I believe, having the 2 weeks isolation on the way back. So, I suppose we're just waiting, holding our breath, and hoping that still goes ahead. But we'll see. We'll let you know throughout the shows as they go on. I'm sure you see it all on social media, because there's some big events coming up. And then Red Centre Nats, obviously the first weekend in September. I should know the dates. I got them emailed to me last night. But I know it's Father's Day weekend. I know the 4th is the Friday. I think it's the 3rd to the 7th or something like that. 3rd to the 6th, something like that. Yeah. So. Because Monday is the 7th. So, it's going to be some big burnout events coming up. It's good to see everyone starting to get their cars out. Looks like a few did make it out. Did the Beauchamp boys make it out? I don't think they did they?
No, they didn't quite get there for this event. Jay had said that he feels like he's just going to have a bit of a rest for a while, enjoy himself, sit on the hill, and just spectate and sit there and watch some skids instead of rushing around all the time and getting out there. So... but they were there supporting the event, supporting their cousin Jeffrey, who had one of our Mangs. We were missing them, and there was a few other guys. Like, we had 3 brand new people who really wanted to make it, but they just didn't quite get there. So, but they're still messaging me now, asking different things about the rules, etc. And they're keen and super pumped for our next event. So we probably, if we could have got everybody and all of the ducks in a row, we could have had 26 or 27 cars, which is, again, doesn't sound like a huge big deal to people used to running large events. But for us, that's pretty big.
How did Wayne Harris go? One Wheel Wayno? Was he there?
Yeah, Wayne actually did really well. He
did he have his tip-in meter on the front? Has he still got my tip-in meter I got for him?
I didn't see it on there. But I think, Wayne really pours his heart into every skid that he does. And he did that again on Saturday. Maybe, things didn't quite go his way with points and all the rest of it. But, Wayne's a gentleman, and he loves everybody, and he's
a top bloke, and he just wants to do burnouts, So
that's right.
I do miss catching up with Wayno at the track. I do miss that.
Yeah. No, we miss you too, eh?
Yeah, I might have to come back. I'm just too scared. I'll bring COVID with me. I mean, ACT's close to Melbourne. It's not, it's not Victoria, but work wants me back up there, but I keep making excuses not to go back at the moment. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But hopefully, maybe Gazinats, who knows? I might come up after Red Centre Nats or something.
We were just on Gazinats. I do need to say that Gazinats have been a massive supporter of our club since we began. The last 2 years at Gazinat, so our first 2 years in operation, we we did the fundraising barbecue there. This year we said we're going to sit that one out and let all of our members and entrants just enjoy their days as entrants. But what Debbie and Gary did for us this year is on Saturday they gave away a Gaznats entrant pack. So there was one competitor chosen that gets free entry and a buddy pass into Gaznats, which, as you know, is worth quite a bit of money. And that was for the judges' choice. So maybe not necessarily top point scorer or class winner, but someone who really stood out as, you know, their driving style really wowed the judges. And that went to Cameron Carter, which was...
So he cleaned up on the weekend.
Yeah, he really did. He really did. And Gary and Debbie also donated a spectator prize pack as well. So there's a family pass there for Gaznats, 2 adults, 2 kids. Families decked out in Gaznats Darwin 2020 merch as well. So, you know, they really came to the party and put some cool prizes on the table for us on Saturday.
I have to give it to Benny. I mean, he said he'd never go LS. He stuck with the 308 forever. Now it's got an LS in it. Cam's driving it, and it's just out smashing tyres. So, I mean, How many tyres do you reckon that car's done? Hundreds.
Oh,
surely.
So many. I mean, the poor thing, I was passenger with Ben at Top End Tyre Fest last year here in April, and we turned that thing into a hatchback that day.
Yeah, we did actually. Yeah, he did. He hit the wall hard too, but he had it repaired in like 4 weeks.
Yes, I know. So, you know, that car's been through the ringer all right. And
then how old's Cam? 20 or something? So,
hey?
How old's Cam? 20, 19, 20?
Yeah, I think he's 20. Yeah, so he's very impressive driver, and I think, you know, he's probably got no fear, which helps a lot. But I've also been in the car with Cameron too, and when he won best tip in at our February event, and I had whiplash for 4 or 5 days after that.
I remember Benny driving home. We were doing the burnouts out at the Rodeo back in the day, and I had the Angry Bull Ant, the 1-tonner with the blown big block. Yeah. And we were towing that back, and we were following him because he had the exhaust off still, and the cops pulled us over, and he just shook his head. Lucky mine was on the trailer, but they let him go. No, it was all good. Like that car's been around for a long time, and it's good to see it sort of going through a second generation, I suppose, of burnout competitors, and it's good to see Cam doing really well. I think he's probably going to excite a few people at Red Centre Nats who haven't probably seen him before doing it. So it's always good to see some new faces down there. Like, we know him, but it's good to see him sort of come on the big stage once we go to Red Centre Nats. So that's going to be a big event. Yeah,
it's going to be really cool. Yeah, Cameron, you know, I think he thinks he idolises Thrasher. You know, he really checks out the way that he skids. And if you're going to look to someone like that for their skidding style, you really are ready to throw it all out there.
He needs about another 20 degrees of camber on the front, I think, if he's going to keep up with Thrasher.
Yeah. But it's really great to see young people coming through and, you know, looking to previous burnout masters and those that have competed alongside the very best in the country, you know, for inspiration and a bit of mentorship too, to you know, bring the next generation through.
No, well, it's been good to catch up with you. I want to thank you for your time tonight, and we'll get you back on before the next burnout event, because obviously we want to pump it up and sort of keep motorsport going, especially in the NT. It's my home state. Teagues is there. Maybe we'll get Teagues down on the mic, I reckon. Get a bit of 2, 2, 1. He can do the testing. I just want him to test the mic. 2, 2, 1, 2.
Test the mic and then just head home for the day. Like, this is good, guys.
That's all he did at the Speedway for 12 months.
Yeah.
You have to think of this, Rebecca. Like, Tegan has had like 4 different commentators work with him over 5 years, I think.
Yeah.
Well, does that say something about him or what?
Yeah. This is year 5, and there's no one there with him.
I'm churning it out. There's no one wants to come back.
He drove me 4,000 Ks away.
Brad Stott just won't answer my messages anymore when I say, "Hey, do you want to do a show with me?"
Oh goodness! No, it'll be good. You should come down, Teagues. You'd probably have a really good time.
Yeah. I was trying to get down on the weekend. Unfortunately, a few things didn't line up, but I'll definitely be down at the next show. It seems like a whole lot of fun.
He had a bet going on. He had to lose that weight. If he'd smelled a sausage sizzle, it was all over.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me. And just before I go, I do want to say massive thank you to every single person who volunteers their time and puts their heart and soul into our little club that's, started off pretty small and we're kicking goals. So thanks for having me, guys.
No worries. We'll speak to you in the next couple of months.
Awesome.
Thanks, Beck.
Thanks, Beck.
Yeah.
Well, how good was that to catch up with Beck, Teagues? I mean, we'll get you down. We'll get you into a burnout camp. Maybe Cam Carter will take you.
Yeah. I know the Carter boys. They're it's going to be a scary show. I think. I don't know how I go passenger on a car. Yeah, it's one of those things. I think when you go passenger, you've just got to hold on. You got to trust the person you're with, and that's pretty hard to do sometimes. So Well, I've seen you doing a burnout and setting the car alight.
That's not impressive at all.
Yeah, I don't think I would trust going with you.
Yeah, I think my wife nearly died that day. I set my car on fire, probably because I didn't stop. That was back when we used to have power crews up there. That's how long ago that was. That's showing some. It's my birthday. Let's not.
Back then.
Yeah, it was black and white footage. I'm sure of it. And this may be a 15-year-old face, but it's definitely the internals aren't 15 years old. I can tell you. See, there's the wife just took 30 years of her life.
Hey, but how good is it? We get little Hayden on the show. He's just hanging around in the background, and he gets more love than you and I have ever got together.
In the comments, how good is that?
Yeah, everyone loved to see him. It's just like maybe we should just hand the show over.
We'll just hand the show over to Hayden, mate. I think we do have look, I can hear the wife laughing in the background still. Like, how good is it? He's doing the promo for us, the 2212. My hat's arrived because they need to come from New South Wales. Big shout out for those though.
Yeah. Kelly Dicker from Dicker Stickers got the hats through for us, and man, she turned them around quick for us too. It was sort of a quick last minute thing. We did want it for the birthday special show, but unfortunately, I've just got to pretend that I'm wearing a hat. How great's that? I organised the whole deal, and it was something cool. And then you get yours. Have you got 6 hats there? Because I ordered 6. And if you've got all of them and you're holding out on me, I'll be pretty upset.
No, I've got 3 kids, 3 adults. What I really like, though, is you haven't sent me where to pay either. So happy birthday to me. I got 6 hats that I haven't paid for yet.
See, you're saying that online in front of all the people now, but I've told you 3 times, hey, transfer me the money, and you just keep going, sorry, you're breaking up. And I'm going, we're on Messenger. What do you mean breaking up?
Yeah. I'm not going to show you the box, but just trust me, it was 6 hats only, all right? That's all that matters. All right, so the next person we're going to get in is our fearless leader, the man who took us through the NTI Racing E-Series. We'll get him. I'll unmute him. See, I got him muted in the background, and we're going to bring on ScoMo, mate. We had to do some intro music for you, Jakey. Good to have you back.
Hello, good to be back.
Matey, we didn't get a chance to catch up. We tried to catch up with Paul Mance. We had some technical issues in our first show, but the NTI Racing E-Series was quite a few weeks ago now, but 5 rounds, pretty full on, and I'm surprised. Has your hair actually grown back, or did you have more hair than that before that series started?
Go and get it dyed out of the grey, get rid of the grey after that series. But it's been a few weeks and given it some time to grow back,
No, mate, it was a fantastic series. It was good to get me and Teagues back together. I mean, we probably wouldn't be doing the show if we hadn't done that series. So a bit of a thank you to you. I know you put in so many hours behind the scenes and like getting Shannon's insurance on board. 5 rounds. Where did we go? Laguna Seca. We went over to Brands Hatch in the UK. Yeah, Phillip Island, a couple of you got to do Bathurst, don't you, really?
Oh, of course.
Got to do Bathurst. It's not an Aussie racing series without Bathurst involved.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good, Jake, and it was good to see the calibre of driver that came together. I mean, it's this first show sort of started off with a few of the guys who weren't really up to the iRacing, and we're just starting to learn it. So there was, I would say, a bit of carnage. That was probably the best way to describe it. But really, towards the end of the series, the racing was just unreal. You really had those front runners who were out there, and then you had a lot of the guys who were just racing together in sections, and it really produced a lot of great racing. And it's something that's continued on now, and it's sort of formulated its own little group of people who are all mates now and who talk to each other and get on racing. So it's a pretty good thing, and especially during the uncertain times with coronavirus.
Yeah, it was definitely a good way to bring a lot of people together. Initially, it was sort of an NT-based series that we were looking at doing to sort of keep some things alive in the NT with motorsport. And grew a bit of traction with having some online broadcasts, which was huge thanks to you and Matt. But yeah, it took off from something tiny that.
I'm recording that. Thank you.
Use it as an intro for someone else. Yeah. So I think we didn't expect it to be as big as what it was. We were looking at initially just having a dozen people rock up, and we ended up capping it at 40 people. So there's a huge range of people that hadn't been on at all, and that was their first week racing our first round. And there's others, like Paul, who won the series, that have been on for years in iRacing. So, while it was a challenge for the new people coming on to sort of learn iRacing, and it's quite a difficult thing to sort of pick up and get the hang of, it's also a challenge for the experienced people, because they had to learn to race with people that have got no experience at all and don't understand passing and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, I think it was a good challenge for even the most experienced iRacers.
Were you surprised by how many people actually want to get on? Because I know in the end there was people from all over Australia, and some names too that are involved in production racing around Australia, really wanted to get on the series, and you had to turn around and say, no, we're capped, we're done.
Yeah, we honestly, as I said, we didn't expect to get that many people, and to get 40 people. A few people were asking why we'd only capped it at 40, but I think after the first 3 rounds, we could see why we capped it at 40. Anymore, it would have just got crazy. Not only that, but it was pretty difficult to broadcast 40 cars and try and get everyone some broadcast time. So, yeah, I think it had a huge growth really quickly, and yeah, there was big names interstate, and I think the help of our wildcards really helped promote the series as well.
Yeah, I got some clips coming up here. I'm going to see if they're going to play, because one of them I might have to reset. But I mean, we had the ladies race in the last one because it was Mother's Day weekend, so got a few highlights from that race just coming up. But it was good to sort of get the partners involved. I mean, it's predominantly we only had males in the series really, which wasn't through any. We weren't meant to. It just how it seemed to happen. So it was actually really good for everyone to get their partners involved, I reckon, in that last round.
Yeah, it was good for the guys to be able to hand their sims over to partners, sisters, wives, mothers, whatever, to really get involved. And got to give a bit of a shout out to Ebony Coates, aka the grandma, for coming up with this idea and helping run with it. It was a really good idea and coincided really well with Mother's Day. So it was a good way to get them involved. They've probably been sitting on the sideline for the 5 earlier weeks of the series. It was a good way to do it.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic to have everyone sort of involved. I mean, we had it was easy to get 40 guys to jump on. Really, in the end, I mean, it's good to see people like Tim Nichols get into it. He put up some great photography on the page as well. So he got right into it. Most improved was Enik Radomski. He's gone and spent. Let's not talk about how much he spent, because his missus might be listening.
Yes.
He's in the middle of nowhere. He won't get to watch this till next week, so we can rag on him all we like.
And he's got the storeroom now.
Yeah, the storeroom. Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right. And
there'll be a few of the races in the storeroom after that.
yeah. There's a few computer upgrades going on. I mean, one of the funniest things was I went out and had to buy a gaming laptop so I could broadcast it. But you couldn't get things like webcams. You couldn't the e-racing just took over Australia during COVID, didn't it? I mean, computer shops sold out.
Yeah.
It really took off. And yeah, go ahead. Even today, it's still people are still waiting for sim rigs and wheels and pedals, because they all just got sold out everywhere. So yeah, I think there might be a second wave of iRacing series rolling through when everyone's equipment rocks up.
It's crazy too, with purchasing, Jake, you reached out and Ebony to get me involved in the series, and then we dragged Matty in because we figured it wouldn't be a show without him. And here I was on a HP laptop for the first little bit, just sort of having a look at what it would look like just with a basic laptop, having a look at iRacing, and it was no good. So off I went and got myself a computer, and then all of a sudden I had to go out and buy myself a wheel because I can't miss out on all the fun. And now, you can't actually see it because of my fantastic production green screen behind me, but I'm actually sitting in my dad's gym right now in my sim. My steering wheel's in front of me, my phone's resting on it, and right alongside me, Dad's racing right now in his sim with his computer. There's probably about 10 grand just sitting here on the gear that we just purchased. So yeah, it's just exploded, and everyone's really got involved, and it's been pretty good to see because it's given everyone something to do.
Yeah, and I think Paul mentioned it quite a bit too, obviously being involved in iRacing for a long time. He says it's been really good to see so many new people come on and try something out that is quite realistic. At the end of the day, for an online series, it's pretty well done. But yeah, it'd be good to sort of keep it growing and see what the future brings for it.
I suppose we stuck with the supercar format. It's a very popular car. There's lots of different stuff on iRacing. So, it's probably what everyone wanted to see. So from a broadcast point of view, it made it pretty easy for me and Teagues because you could go through the cars. You sort of knew most of the tracks. You sort of knew what was going on, especially if you watched a bit of the E-Series going on with the V8 supercars. So, yeah, it was a lot went on behind the scenes. This is what people probably don't realise what went in. We had to find overlay software. We broadcast it. I mean, like hours went into that overlay software. A big shout out goes out to Paul Mansell, yourself behind the scenes. I mean, you're doing stuff in Photoshop for us. Paul was doing stuff. We were testing out trading paints. We were playing around with settings on computers to try and get the broadcast better. I mean, I think by round 5 we had it pretty good, but it was our final round. So, it was a big series. And I mean, afterwards you put out that survey about maybe doing another one. What sort of came back from that?
Yeah, look, the survey was really positive. So it was good. There's obviously some things that we can look at. Some people said moving forward, with normal lives coming back on, they'll probably look at spacing out the frequency of the races. So, whether we do it monthly or fortnightly. Everyone, as you said, the supercars were a big hit and were pretty popular from everyone. Just some small things, it was a small man show, as everyone knows. It was only a small few people involved in sort of bringing it all together. And I think that was just the way that it was, that it evolved so quickly that it was sort of, grab the help that we can as we went. But going forward, if there was another series, it would be really good to get a few more people involved and sort of have a bit more, I guess, governance around the actual racing to make it a bit fair for everyone. We sort of relied on drivers, being fair and whatnot, which did end up working well. And as people learned how to race over the series, it got better and better. But yeah, I definitely think that it would help to have probably a little bit more organisation in there and a bit more structure going into the races.
Because when you say having a few more people, like what sort of ideal roles are you thinking? Are you sort of thinking like someone from a watching point of view to act as a bit of a steward? Is that where you sort of lean with that?
Yeah, I think we sort of similar to what the Supercars E-Series did. They still had the driving status of Xander, so observer. So it'd be good to have someone sort of similar to that, keeping an eye on it. In the same token, there's 40 cars. It's a lot of people to sort of keep an eye on. So I think, if it was a couple of people would be helpful, but again, you'd still have to rely on people sort of reporting things happening throughout the race. But I think it would just take a bit of, a bit more structure into it. People would probably think a little bit smarter about the moves that they make if there was someone watching it to make some decisions.
Oh, I tell you what, it was pretty exciting though. I must admit, like you look at Bathurst in round 1 compared to Bathurst in round 5, and Bathurst in round 5, everyone seemed to find their mojo. It was, don't get me wrong, there were incidents in the race, but the first round, I think not many people got the first lap done before an incident, and in round 5, we got quite a few laps done.
It was barely even the first corner, really.
Plus, round five, they had to line up after the race and do the jump.
That's it. The jump's the most important part of the race, to be honest.
No. The jump's the second most important part. Tommy Orton, he found the most important part after race 1, which was the burnouts. I think the supercars actually stole the expression session off ours.
I think they copied a lot of things about what we did, to be honest. I think we're a bit of a trendsetter with the E-Series, which is pretty cool to see. But yeah, it was quite funny coming up with some ideas with you two. And then, next week on TV, there's, expression session. It looks a bit familiar. But yeah, there's a couple of things that rolled through. But, it was really good to have the support that we did from the sponsors, that could really highlight the series and make it what it was.
I really like the fact, too, you gave bonus points for having local sponsors on board. So it really pushed the NT side of things, I suppose, especially being, a NAMPS event and not being able to go to the track. And they're starting to go back now. I mean, you were last year's champion, the IPRA winner.
You keep reminding everyone.
Yeah, we keep reminding everyone because you're our hero when it comes to improved production racing, mate. You're my hero. Yeah. There's no one else I look to. But I tell you what. But yeah, looking forward, I mean, you're not there anymore. You're actually down South Australia, but it's good to show you're still putting this much into the club.
Yeah, I'm still quite heavily involved, even though it's from a distance, but still involved as the vice president with NAMPS and the president with the Improved Production Racing. So, in a time that we're in now, it's quite easy to do all this over the internet and over the phone and whatnot. So, it's still really good to be involved, even from afar, but also looking at options and what's down here to get back in the seat myself. It's sort of been too long, and I'm ready to go racing again. So I'll have a look around.
Speaking of V8 supercars, we were talking earlier. You're heading back to Darwin to go to you're going to be one of the 4,500 people that are going to be allowed to go spectate?
Yeah, it wasn't part of the plan until I woke up this morning and all of a sudden we got tickets. So, making the trip up in August. So it'll be an interesting year, I think, in the 27, 28 years or something like that, or 20, must be about 25 years. Supercar's been running in Darwin. I don't think I've missed one that I've been alive. So, it's good to be able to make this one, and it'll be pretty different, I think. Only having the supercars on track. I'm really interested to see how they sort of manage the breaks in between the sessions and that kind of thing. It's going to be different.
Yeah, I don't think from a TV perspective it'll matter too much to the people at home, but live it's going to be not going to have the concerts. You're not going to be able to party on and rock up hungover on a Sunday.
I think there'll still be plenty of partying on, and I feel like the bars will still be open, so they'll get a pretty big workout.
It's NT, mate. You can't have an event without a bar. Exactly,
and if there isn't a bar, someone will take on with them.
Yeah. So security guards, look out for Jake Burgess, pat him down. He'll probably walk in and out 20 times a day if you pat him down, though.
That's right. You just got to know all the right fences.
Oh, mate, it's been great to have you on and talk a bit about the NTI Racing E-Series. Probably a little bit delayed, but, it's good to hear there might be some plans for the future, possibly.
Yeah, I think, we probably might move away from a series point of view and go into looking at doing some one-off sort of enduro events or something like that, or, a weekend worth of events, rather than sort of locking people in for a, 5-round series again. We sort of just hype up the one event and make it really good and put on a good show and get everyone back involved. And, we'll see how it goes.
And I can give you the name of some good commentators because you need some good ones. That's really what you need.
The name's at the end of the tongue at the moment. I can't remember.
Yeah. I think it's Chad Nayland, Matt Nolte.
Yes.
Oh, no, it's been great to have you on, Jake. It's always good to catch up with you, and we probably need to catch up with you a little bit more. We'll try and get Paulie back on after our technical issues last one and have a bit more of a chat with him because he pretty much knows everything going on iRacing in the world. That's what he loves, and really, he's probably in a hot spot down there in Victoria, so he's probably not allowed to go anywhere anyway.
No, he's got nothing else to do, but he's a good one to wind up, that one.
Yeah, he'll have to get his he's going to have to get all his vodka cruisers. The champ. He'll have to get his cruisers home delivered and left out the front. I worked on his graphic. I tell you what, last time I worked on his graphic and we had the vodka cruisers in the background, and I realised that Shannon's logo was there, and I had to take him out. So this time, now I got a bit of Photoshop. We'll take the Shannon's logo out and we're going to cruiser him up.
Oh, he's going to love that. Just make sure the pink one.
Good to see. We're talking about Shannon's. Rob Berry's just jumped on too and written in the comments. So a bit of a shout out to Rob Berry. Good to see he's watching. And maybe we'll be talking to Shannon soon about putting an enduro together. That would be something me and Teagues, I reckon, would be pretty interested in. Would you look at Bathurst for that one, or let's go somewhere new? Let's just go somewhere totally different and do an enduro.
Yeah, I don't know. I suppose we sort of put the feelers up. We've still got the big group of followers that are in that Facebook group that we've got with the NTI Racing Series. So probably put a bit of a call out. The series as it was sort of built behind everyone's thoughts and feedback and what they wanted to do. So, I think we'd probably build an endurance season off what people want to do. There's no point saying this is what we're doing if no one wants to do it. So, we'll tailor it and see what's around.
I suppose the good thing about doing enduro is you can actually have 2 or 3 drivers in the one car still. So we can probably, if 40 cars is too much on track, you can take it. You still have 40 entrants and have 20 cars. So it's sort of, you could probably go somewhere in between, like 25, 30 cars, but 2 drivers. So you sort of end up with 60 entrants.
Yeah, and before I go anywhere, shotgun Paul Mansell, but we do co-drivers.
Pretty sure my dad's already locked in.
Sorry, Dad's way down the tree on that one. You can have co-drivers and they don't even need to be in the same room or using the same sim. So that's the beauty of iRacing and having that platform.
And
Will
so
you be-
for the commentators, like, would you look to build a schedule as well so that like me and Matt get nap times as well? Like, would we be on a sort of a co-commentator thing where we just, we sub in and out?
I might just post you up some no-nos and help you through.
I heard you were going to send us breathos and we're not allowed to commentate us for over 0.05.
No, I reckon that'll make it better.
I'll tell you what, Paul better start putting out. He better raffle himself off, I reckon. He's going to be a wanted
It's
man
not
if we
up
do
for
an enduro.
raffling.
Yeah,
You've already got
come
a co-driver. It's locked in.
Yeah. Well, isn't your co-driver going to be your qualifier? Who does your qualifying
No.
for you?
I do my own qualifying.
Oh, of course, your old housemate used to get on during the practice sessions, didn't we? We knew it was him because he's about 2 seconds faster a lap.
God, it was annoying. I used to log on and my optimal was so good and I could never get anywhere near it because it wasn't my time.
Yeah. Oh, mate, it was a pretty funny series. We had a good time actually. So we're kind of hoping you do it again. And Rob Berry's watching. So Rob, just get in touch with Jake and let's lock in a Shannon's Insurance Enduro race, I reckon. And me and Teagues, we're getting it better. I've actually got a second computer now, so the broadcast should work a bit more flawlessly now. So we're gearing. I'm getting more and more gear and still got no idea.
Yes.
Yeah, so it might be a good chance to thank our sponsors too for the series. Obviously, you two did an awesome job. So big shout out to you two. A lot of hours went in, Maddie. I don't know how you did it sometimes, and I'm surprised you're still married at this point.
She couldn't go anywhere. Divorce courts were closed.
And coronavirus, she couldn't leave the house.
Yeah.
Shannon's Insurance. So Rob, if you're tuning in, thanks again for your support with that. Having a big brand like Shannon's on board really helped the series and lift that profile and make it professional. We had Vehicle Solutions NT. They come on board, a local NT business. Tim Nickel Photography, you mentioned, obviously come on and did the photos for the rounds, which was awesome. He's got a photography bug as well, and to be able to continue doing that in an online platform was pretty awesome. Lukey's Auto Repairs, they helped out with some sponsorship for our sessions throughout the series. And obviously you guys, Matty Cab and Tegan, for your help with everything you did was awesome. So thank you, everyone.
No, thanks for getting us involved. You got anything else to say to him, Teagues, or should I just shut him down?
Just turn it off.
Just stay off my grass.
Just say it.
Get off the grass.
Get off the grass. All right, let's go, mate.
I just planted it.
Yeah.
God. Get Laurie in, he can inspect the grass.
He's just parked his sprint car on your grass in the background there. Look at him.
No, but we do thank you for getting us involved, Jake. It's me and Maddie have a unique love for each other, and it's been too long since we've been able to work with each other, and you bringing us together virtually has been just great. I think more importantly, that's what Jackie was most angry about, was that Maddie and I were back together.
Yeah, I'd go to bed excited.
No more comments.
Oh, that's all right. All right, thanks, Jake. We'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your night. Look, we'll get. Oh, look, I've got rid of him already.
He's gone.
He's just gone. He's out of our life. We can hear him in the background, but he couldn't hear us. So he's not going out to hear. So, yeah, look, like just looking at him on my other screen, he's actually sending me the hillbilly salute. The one thing at hillbilly salute.
He's just letting you know that you're number one.
Oh, a couple of other things I don't know what else you got to talk about motorsport, because obviously the V8 supercars are going back, because we're going to wrap this up in a few minutes. So it's good to see 4,500 people. It's still good to see the NT are going to have some spectators back, and the supercars are actually making it up there. So a lot of those guys, I think there are a few workshops down in Melbourne, so they've probably had to relocate. So yeah, are you going to go? Are you going to get tickets, Teagues?
I don't know at this stage. I'm going to try and go along, but at the same time, I'm sort of I don't know whether I'll get in time, but I think it'll be an interesting show in itself. Just seeing exactly like Jake was alluding to was what are they going to do with are they just running the V8s, or are they going to bring up another support? It's there's not really a whole lot of local competition happening, so maybe something changes in the next month or so, and potentially we have some local talent get down there. But I'm most interested in just getting around to a lot of motorsports that I probably don't get enough time to get around to during the season, because obviously what Darwin's like. Everyone who's watching knows what Darwin's like. It's
all on in 6 months, really.
It's hot as anything for 6 months of the year, 8 months of the year, really, and then everything's on in 6 months. And Motorsports NT, that's another person we got to get on the show and talk to, is the president of Motorsports NT. I had a good chat with him the other day, and there's a lot of things he's doing. He's getting around to the different events around Darwin. He headed down to Catherine last week and checked that out. But yeah, that's Mr. Dick Gary Pendlebury. But there's so many sports on, and those guys all get together during a normal year and have to negotiate their dates and things like that. So generally, with my involvement with the Speedway, being on the committee and commentating down there, I just don't get enough time up my sleeve to be able to go down to these events. So this year, apart from the V8s, I'm really looking forward to, getting down to things like the Burnout Comp and checking out what the guys and girls do down there, and, going down to the drags a little bit more, checking out the drifting a fair bit, and, just getting down to all the different ones. So, I'm sure you know exactly what it's like, just trying to spread yourself across all the different motorsports.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's starting to start up down here too. I mean, Sydney Dragway's got a massive undertaking at the moment. They are replacing all their concrete and bitumen. They're going 500 metres of concrete for drag racing. I know you're not a massive drag racing person, but to have flat concrete is like a 1 mil runoff or something stupid. Over like 1 metre. So for 500 metres, and then they're doing the braking area. There has been a bit of a bump in one of the lanes down there, which is pretty excited to see. I'm normally down that end doing the commentary, so I get to see them bouncing down the road. So that's a massive upgrade. They're catching up to Darwin. They're going to get some LED lighting down the strip too, and they're putting 4K cameras in, and new toilet blocks and kids playgrounds. So there's some huge stuff going to happen at Sydney Dragway. And I suppose the next event there is that they're ripping up the track, but the burnout pad's not getting touched. So I'm actually heading over for the Burnout Masters. We've had the sort of burnout theme going on tonight. So the Summer Nats Burnout Masters putting that show on. That's on the 18th and 19th, which is my wedding anniversary. So wife's happy about me going over to do a show. Burnout Masters putting that on. They got 100 entrants each day, so guys can enter either Saturday and Sunday, or just Saturday, just Sunday. I think they've almost booked out. So anyone on the East Coast, if you're going to Burnout Masters, there's limited crowd tickets as well at the moment. But it's a daily occurrence. I mean, they are still going to have a crowd. I do believe they're not going to be able to go in the pits at this stage. But 100 entrants over 2 days. Burnout Masters tickets up for grab for Summer Nats. That's a big one. Anyone who can go will go there, because they haven't been able to give out the Burnout Masters tickets. And it's probably something you haven't been involved in the Burnouts before. Some Nats do the Burnouts competition, and they've got the Burnout Masters, which is basically they go around to all of these different events. They give tickets out to certain events, and if you win it, you get to go on the Burnout Masters. It's like the elite burnout guys all in one. Then they have a wild card shoot. So guys that travel all over the country or go to heaps of events who have sort of stood out, they'll go to the wild card on the Thursday, and they'll have the last couple of spots in the Burnout Masters. So it's like the elite of the elite when it comes to burnouts for that one. They have a lot of shows have been cancelled, so they haven't been able to give those tickets out. So it's going to be a couple of tickets to give away there each day. It's going to be a huge event at Sydney Dragway. So, yeah, that's 2 weeks away. Happy wedding anniversary, honey. I'm going to go to a burnout show. I'm going to make you happy and make sure that I'm not here. Yeah, I'm going to leave her alone. See, she's already saying it. Leave her alone.
She's excited.
So, she's excited. But, yeah, and you're right. Red Centre Nats is kicking off. High Tech Drift Series starts the second week, or I think it's about the 7th and 8th of August. So that's down in Winton. So we're watching that one very closely, because obviously Victoria. But, so August is going to be busy. If Gaznats goes ahead, I'll be up there. Red Centre Nats, High Tech back at the Bend. I can't wait to go to the Bend. That's going to
that'll be incredible.
Great. Yeah, the High Tech Drift Series there. So it'll be good to see the Darwin boys. I do like, I get to look after X-Drift down here. It's sitting on a trailer in my backyard in his tow car, and I just go out there and rub my naked body on it every now and then. I don't tell him. Just so when he's in it, I know he's touching me.
You need to be careful, because it gets pretty cold in Canberra, and I worry that a body part will end up sticking to the bottom of the car.
Yeah, it was going to be a bit like Dumb and Dumber, where the sticks are hung on the pole. Yeah, I could have something stuck to the car. Yeah, so what's Paddy say? That was cancelled, so maybe that's happened. So I don't know. So we'll see what happens. But events are trying to come back, and with the borders opening, I mean, 10th of July, I believe, Queensland's going to drop their borders. So the guys from Queensland will be able to come down to Sydney to Burnout Masters. Hidden Valley Drags announced that they're going to have Nitro up north, and I'm just looking up there. It looks like 18th and 19th of September. So Hidden Valley Drags, I don't know about their season at the moment. Maybe, that's probably all they're going to have is Nitro up north. I think they'll be due for NT titles. So it'd be good to catch up with someone from the Drags. Maybe I'll put my feelers out and see if someone there wants to have a chat. It'd be great to have Gary on board. We would really love to have Gary on maybe before motorsports really starts to kick off.
Yeah, we might see if he's. I was talking to him the other day, and he's pretty keen to come on the show. So maybe we'll try and get him on. I talked him through the technology of Zoom and the like. So he's all there, and he's got his best camera and gets himself on there. So I think we'll be able to get him on. So I'll have a chat to him, see if we can get him on next Thursday and just chat through exactly where his role sits with that Motorsports NT presidency and exactly what he's doing in these times to support the motorsports clubs. Just seen Paddy Barley's just let us know that local drifting will be on next Friday here. As we said as well, there's going to be the Speedway on down in Catherine. Go-karts for the top-end dirt karts is going to be back on as well. I believe that might be next weekend as well.
And how big have they been?
Huge showing.
Yeah, they had 84 last time around.
Yeah. So they're first, like they just only built the track, and you know, go back 12 months ago, they had 20 odd cars turn up, and they just tapped out at 83 karts. The size of the fields that are racing there is just absolutely incredible. It's absolutely mayhem. And
when
you know,
they started like 4 weeks ago. I think the Galv paint on the lighting poles was still wet.
It was still wet, yeah, and yeah, the light poles are that tall that planes can no longer fly over Hidden Valley, but it still pumps out some great light on the track. So NT Gov supporting the Top End Dirt Karts Association and making sure that they were able to get lighting, and we can run under lights now, and which obviously helps because it gets a bit hot running during the day, and some of those days were pretty brutal on the volunteers. And now that they can run at night, it's going to be pretty cool, and that's obviously where we're starting to see a lot of karts come out of the shed.
Yeah, no, and it's so good to see like 84 competitors or 83 competitors in any motorsport is a huge number in Darwin, really. That's a phenomenal number. I mean, even with all the circuit races, you combine all the different fields, even at the Speedway, combining all the fields, 83 is a big number to have at one event. And a lot of kids, like I know the Henry kids have been getting down there.
Yep.
Imogen's been out there, of course. She's crazy.
Yeah. I think they start from 6 or 7 years old, and these little kids are running around in these carts, and the parents are, if they start getting a little bit crazy, they have to go on the big bolt and try and chase them down and stop them. But the more confidence starts to come through, and they start learning how to handle the cars around the track and the likes. And it's been pretty cool, and that's what I like to see. Is not only do we have the adult section, which is quite big, but the kids, they have 6 or 7 karts that are racing in the youngest section. So the whole field is growing, and as we said before, the kids are really where it's at, and they're the ones who keep on the racing, and all of us get a little bit too old to do it, and I hurt too much when I crash, so I can't do it anymore. Yeah, I'm 30 tomorrow, mate.
I think
30 tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I know. Look. The problem with us was we ran out of talent.
Yes,
we still don't have it. I don't know.
So that wasn't physical pain. That was emotional pain.
That was emotional pain.
Sucking.
Yeah. I got sick of being abused. I mean, I know why McIver gave up now, because he promised us a barbecue every win.
Yeah, and I'm still hungry.
I'm hungry,
yeah.
mate. We need to catch up with TKR, mate, because he knows I'm still. The only reason I'm going to Darwin is to hunt through the Speedway pits looking for a barbecue from McIver.
Yes, yeah.
It's funny. I was actually looking at some photos the other day, and I'm actually interviewing him on the podium in 2018. So he must have got something. I don't remember.
It. I remember it. I think he just pulled up by accident. He just thought that was his tip, eh?
Most Improved Award.
Hey, you didn't crash it this time, buddy.
Yeah, it was gold still. It didn't have a bent wing.
Well, the nickname for it nowadays is actually rolled gold. And it's only because it just was rolled that many times while it was gold.
Yeah, he did have a few in that one, and old Timmy Tech, he did a lot of vinyl wrapping on that one. But that was good. We might have to get him on too. We'll have to catch up with him and see what the boys are doing, because I think he's busy in the background doing a bit of iRacing himself, and they got their own little fun going on the weeknight, so it'll be good to catch up with him as well. So, we'll work on a couple of guests. Keep tuned to social media. I think we are going to wrap it up for tonight. We've been on air for way too long. For a quick catch-up, we've been on for an hour now, so we'll let you go. Yeah, a bit of a birthday special here. Of course, there's Lizzie, my daughter. She's getting in.
Lizzie.
Look, she's got the hat on. She's got a big head, though. She had to take an adult's hat. Couldn't take a junior.
No. So, my dad's... well, I'm not sure, because it's a joint account, so it could be my mum or my dad, but it's probably mum. Yeah. Just tuned in to say how much for me to punch Teagues in the head while he's live.
How much do you want?
Mum, it's not nice. It's my birthday tomorrow.
I only have so many zeros, but but I've got a few dollars saved up. Don't worry, I won't pay him for this hat.
We'll start passing the hat around. There's a few people watching. I'm sure that everyone will tune in a few dollars.
You'll Rotan bow you for it. I'll tell you what. Yeah, thanks, guys. Bit of a birthday out to Tiggs. It was my birthday the other week. So, yeah, we're having a bit of a birthday celebration tonight. Thanks, everyone who tuned in. Good to see the comments. Watch it again later. Do what you need to do. Big shout out to, obviously, 2212 Productions. Of course, that's us two when we get together. Peggy's Performance and Dino Tune. Icebark Electrical and Fire. And, of course, Extra Industries. A little bit of a shout out to myself, Madicab Media, for putting the broadcast out. But $50, Mark. Just do it.
Oh, wait, I'm confused.
I'll pay $5. I'll keep the stream going for another 4 hours.
Did my dad just offer to pay himself $50 to knock me out on live air?
He's going to pay me $50 to be able to knock you out online. I tell you what, you are a dad fighter. It's in the background. So you have to fight your dad.
That's the dad fighter car, and I'll have to go to battle with him.
No worries, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next Thursday night. We'll get back under 7 p.m. Australian Central Standard Time. And Teagues, we'll find some guests and we'll put them out there on social media.
Yeah, perfect, Matty Cav. See you next week.
Excuse me. Who are you guys? This is not your office.
Sir, I know we come off as a couple of lady killers, but I promise you we will be super professional on the job.
What you've just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Credits.
The
End.